Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a very interesting and serious episode for you guys that you definitely want to stick around for. You don't want to miss a second of this one. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Now, Stephen A. Smith has been one of the few voices out there that has been critical of Kyrie Irving all season long, from the beginning to the end. He's been one of the few. The other two people that I've heard be critical and not be afraid to speak their mind about Kyrie Irving are Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless on Undisputed. These two guys pretty much said whatever they felt about Kyrie, and they didn't hold back. Now, I think for the rest, I think the rest of the people out there were just pretty much twerking it up and basically running scared because they were afraid to lose subscribers. That's what I believe. I think a lot of people wanted to say what they believed about Kyrie, but they were afraid to say it because Kyrie somehow was turned into some type of public figure that's untouchable. He's above LeBron. He's above Jordan. He's above everyone. You cannot talk about Kyrie or Irving. Otherwise, some of these guys are going to come up here and start twerking it up all over the place. So that's what I noticed. But now it looks as if this saga between Kyrie Irving and Stephen A. Smith has reached a new level. Because just yesterday, Stephen A. Smith basically issued a public warning to Kyrie Irving on ESPN First Take. So for those of you who missed the comments that Stephen A. Smith had to say, we're going to play them for you right now, and then we're going to come back and react to it. So let's play that. So take a listen to what Stephen A. Smith had to say on ESPN First Take yesterday. Take a listen to that.
There's a lot that happened this year. And, you know, especially in Brooklyn with Mr. Kyrie Irving.
Oh, yeah.
That brother put out a tweet today. We ain't talking about it today because we at the NFL draft. Let me look into the audience and say this. Oh, you thought I had stuff to say before. Wait until First Take tomorrow. I'ma save it. I'ma marinate on what this brother had the audacity to put on social media today. I'ma let it marinate for the next 24 hours. Molly, I want to emphasize, Molly Kiram doesn't have anything to do with this. The ESPN executives don't have nothing to do with this.
Oh,
the producers, the great Sam Tanucci, Antoine Lewis, James Dunn, and the whole crew, they have nothing to do with this. Put that camera, don't right here. Tomorrow on First Take,
I love him.
This brother right here gonna put up this stuff on social media to say the stuff that he said. I'ma let it marinate for the next 24 hours. If ever the cuffs came off on First Take, it's coming off tomorrow. I can't wait. I don't even want to sleep.
Now, for those of you who are not aware of what Stephen A. Smith is referring to, he was actually referring to some tweets, because we actually had to do some quick research. He was referring to some tweets that Kyrie Irving put out yesterday on his Twitter page. So what I want to do is quickly read them for you guys, and then we're going to really get into the nitty-gritty. Let me read the first tweet. Kyrie Irving says, a lot of these media corporations make their money by degrading Black, African, indigenous community heroes. They thrive off of it and then sell it back to us by having a hand-selected person or group of people spark controversy about them for the whole world to see. Another tweet. I send shots at puppet masters, not puppets. All puppets do is run around society trying to gain popularity and state opinions. What a life. My name is worth billions to these media corporations. My brothers and sisters who deal with this know exactly what I mean. His next tweet. When I see my name or my brothers and sisters' names getting spun through the media, I refer to all my research about who they are. Their job is to control public perception, and while profiting off discussing, discrediting, and disrespecting people's lives for entertainment. And I think he had one more tweet that I want to pull up here. And he said in this particular tweet, just watch all of those people who wake up every day and report about people's lives on TV and social media and then profit off of them. Then they justify their jobs by saying they get paid to say how they feel. LOL. It's like people live in a fantasy. So that's what Kyrie Irving had to say. My brain hurts actually reading that. Okay. Let me get into this. First of all, I want to say that this is a nuanced conversation. And I think some people are totally confused about what is actually going on here. I'll start with Kyrie Irving because Stephen A. Smith is reacting to him. So let me start with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving sounds like someone that doesn't really understand why he is in the position that he's in. Let me unpack this. Kyrie Irving is a person that has worked extremely hard at his craft. That is clear to see. And he has been blessed with certain physical gifts that were given from God. You cannot choose your height. You cannot wake up and, oh, okay, I want to be 6'8". And then your mom shakes her stomach around and then boom, no. That is totally out of your control. So those are certain gifts that you have. Then you work on them. But that right there, you have no control over, right? So for you to be 6'3", 5'6", these are just things that you just get. Those are what you have. So he has these physical gifts. And he just so happens to perform a job that tens of millions of people enjoy watching. Let me say this. If you play basketball, it doesn't mean that you're better than a college professor. It doesn't mean that you're better than a teacher. It doesn't mean that you're better than a firefighter. It doesn't mean that you're better than a doctor or a nurse. It doesn't mean you're better because you earn tens of millions of dollars more than those other people. It just so means that, or it just simply means that more people find what you do more enjoyable to watch. It doesn't mean you're better than them. Let me say this flat out. If there are any athletes, let me just say this. To walk around and feel like you're better than people just because of what you do it is extremely condescending. It is nasty. It's a nasty way of thinking. I can never be around people like that. That you feel like, oh, I'm better than you just because I do that. There are people like that. Miss me with them. I will never be. I don't roll with those type of people. That's the first thing I want to get off my chest. If people don't watch the NBA, you are not a millionaire, period, end of story. Unless you play the NBA, they pay you maybe $50,000 a year, you save up that money, you go invest in another business and you do something. Otherwise, you're not earning millions of dollars a year. If people don't watch, you're not a millionaire, period, point blank. There is no other answer to it. There is no other solution to it. It's that simple. If tens of millions of people don't watch basketball, guess what? There are no advertisers. And if there's no advertisers, there's no advertiser revenue. If people don't spend their hard-earned money and take that money and pay for tickets in an arena, guess what you have? An empty arena with people playing basketball. It is literally that simple. Literally. There's nothing else to understand about this. Nothing else to understand about it. That's the first thing, because I want to get this off my chest. What role does the media play in all of this? Because Kyrie seems to have an issue with the media. If the media doesn't cover the sport, meaning cover live events like basketball games, and talk about it and write about it, fans will not see you. And if they don't see you, you don't exist. Quite literally. You would be totally irrelevant if people don't create mechanisms for eyeballs to be on you. If the media doesn't cover you, you won't be seen. The media literally puts the product in front of the fans. Jordan, LeBron have a crystal clear understanding of this, and Kyrie seems to be totally lost. Michael Jordan understands this. LeBron James understands this. Kyrie is lost on this basic fundamental business model. He seems to be lost about this. The people he calls puppets are the ones that talk about him and make him relevant. If you didn't play a sport that a lot of people watch, you would not have all of those followers on Instagram. How else would you do it? How else do you get this following? If people are not watching you on TV, are you the one? Did you create ESPN? Did you create ABC? Did you create CBS Sport? All of these companies that create the games, that follow the games. Did you create it? Hell no, you didn't. You didn't. There are a lot of other people in the industries that have other industries that play into sports that create this multi-billion-dollar a year industry. And to me, it is astonishing that Kyrie he cannot capture this concept. To me, you have to be extremely condescending to call these people, and disrespectful to call these people puppets. Let me say this. Kyrie Irving seems to have a God complex. He has a God complex. I think, and I truly believe this, and I think there are a lot of people that agree with me, so I could care less about the people that disagree with me. I think Kyrie thinks because he is rich, he is somehow better than people that he has more money than. I truly believe that. Because you cannot tell me it's because he plays basketball that he feels because he played, that's his profession, somehow makes him better than other people. It cannot be that. It cannot be that. Because what would make you think that because you play basketball, you're better than a teacher? Or better than a truck driver? Or better than a waitress? What would make you think that? Where do you get that level of arrogance from? It must be because of the money you earn. That's the reason you're running around calling people peons and puppets. That's the reason. And by that logic, the owners of those teams should be calling you a peon. Because you ain't nothing but a speck on the mirror to those people. The ones writing your checks are much more wealthier than you. Steve Ballmer's worth $100 billion. What is a Kyrie Irving to a Steve Ballmer? If Steve Ballmer dropped $100 million on the floor, he wouldn't even notice it. He wouldn't even notice it. It's like somebody have $1,000 in their pocket and they drop one penny falls out of their pocket. You wouldn't notice it. But I see more humility from people that have way more money than Kyrie that are not condescending. Kyrie Irving doesn't seem to understand how the media and the NBA have a symbiotic relationship. Instead, he's running around calling people peons. And I attack the puppets. No, I don't. I talk to the puppet master. You ain't talking to no damn puppet master. Can't sit in the same room with these guys. These are billionaires. They're not gonna sit up there and have a conversation with you. For what? For what? Just because you see Steve Ballmer going on surgery, Steve Ballmer he's a down-to-earth kind of guy. He's worth $100 billion, but he's willing to bring himself down to other people, some of his players, and because he doesn't walk around with that air of arrogance. Kyrie is an extremely arrogant person. I'm not backing off of it. If you guys want to twerk it up, you don't like it, guess what? Hit the unsubscribe button. We all have a right to our opinion on this information. And to me, it is astounding that he actually doesn't understand how the media helps him. He thinks the media hurts him, benefiting off of the back of African. What the hell is Kyrie Irving talking about? They're all benefiting. It's a symbiotic relationship. What do you mean benefiting off of the back? They're all working together. What are you talking about? Why doesn't LeBron say this? Why doesn't Jordan? Why is it Kyrie saying this? What is he talking about? What is he talking about? That was a bunch of hot rubbish, garbage, nonsense, in my personal opinion. Some people are going to totally disagree with me. That is your bloody right. You have a right to your opinion. You have that right. And I have the right to mine. You just heard Elon Musk bought Twitter. He said everyone should have the right to totally agree or disagree with me. Totally. Everyone should be able to have their opinion. We don't all have to agree on things, but we all should have a voice. And I don't understand what he's talking about. And to Stephen A. Smith, the one, you can say whatever the hell you want to say about him. I'm not fond of a lot of things that Stephen A. Smith says. At least he's been consistent. He hasn't backed down. You've heard people flip-flop on Kyrie. Jay Williams, that supports him, now finally reached the point where he said Kyrie sounds tone deaf. Chris Broussard, who has defended Kyrie ad nauseum against Nick Wright on TV all year long. Even he, about 2 or 3 days ago, got fed up. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? What is he talking about? The guy sounds confused. Just because you make millions of dollars don't mean you're going to be saying smart stuff. It's a bunch of nonsense, in my personal opinion. And the most astonishing part is, after everything I just said, some people are going to be still talking about, you just mad that Kyrie didn't take the vaccine. Can you imagine? I didn't even mention the vaccine, not even once. That's what they're going to be talking about. That's what they're going to be talking. You cannot have a conversation with people that defend this. He's saying a bunch of nonsense. Total hot BS, my opinion. I'm out. You guys let me know what you think. Catch you on the next episode. Peace.